Hi everyone, this is Linnea. Welcome to the session. Today I'm going to present Power Up Your Fundraising Game, Leveraging New Tech to Thrive. A little bit about myself. I'm the head of Data Insight from National Breast Cancer Foundation. We're located here in Sydney, Australia. At NBCF, our mission is zero death from breast cancer by funding life-saving research. My job is to help my fantastic colleagues to raise more funds for our cause using data, information, and technology. I love it because I truly believe in the power of data, and I like to try out new technologies, things that could bring improvements, increase efficiency, and I think it's a great thing to work with something you like, and at the same time, for a cause that makes the world a bit better. I had also worked with Blackbaud as a Razor's Edge and eTapestry consultant some years ago, where I had the opportunity to meet so many passionate and talented database experts from various organizations. And I've always loved the idea of sharing the knowledge and experience with other not-for-profit to gain greater social good. And BBCon, I think, is the best time we sit together and share our stories, our successes, and our lessons learned. I've attended BBCon many years, but I've never presented on one before. And when I got the invitation to do a presentation of our recent innovative journey with Power Platforms, although it was only 1 week away from the conference, I said yes without hesitation, because I really wanted to share what we learned from this process, and I wanted to give some ideas for organizations that's facing the same challenge as we do. Okay, so here's our story. I'll start with our challenges. To NXT or not to NXT. So NBCF has used Razor's Edge Database View for over 10 years, and we were introduced to RNXT about 2 years ago. Although NXT had a lot of great features, and it was actually designed for fundraisers who manage relationships. However, most of our fundraisers will still stick to Database View for their daily operations. I understand why, and I think many will echo me in agreeing that, well, yes, NXT is more appealing, more intuitive, more user-friendly, but it can't do something as we did in the Database View. We all appreciate the features on the web view, and we wanted to enjoy the convenience brought by the modern technology. But before we proceed, we had a time sitting there and thinking, well, if it can do this in database view as well, if it can do this in the web view as well. So it seems like we might need some customization or extension of our current system. But we all know that in the database view days, customization is a high cost project. It needs very professional coders to code the program. And unless you are still hosted on premise, there's not so many you can customize actually. So in an ideal world, we would like to build customized add-ins for our NXT that serves our purpose with low cost and with the ability to maintain the app when something goes wrong. So we wanted a system to be able to do what we wanted to do, not just what it was designed to out of the box. Is that even possible? So we're sitting there and thinking what features we wanted to make. I would like you to take a moment and think for yourself, what are the features that you want our fundraisers to have that can make their life a bit easier on NXT? I know the list could go quite long, and I would just name a few in our case to see if they are on your list as well. The first one, load default set. I know this could be loved by both fundraisers and database administrators. I heard some database administrators even call this their best friend in the database view. Yes, it's very handy. It not only saves time for data entry, but also it ensures the quality of the data. You're assured that your data is complete and the fields for later reporting is always there. So can we have the load default feature for a new record in an NXT view as well? It will be so handy. I know our fundraisers will appreciate this because we have more than 10 different custom fields needed to be populated in for a new record. A second one, conditional mail merge. The feature was quite powerful and handy, especially on a mail merge on a single record. This feature was very powerful. It was because since February this year, the function is no longer available. And our fundraisers were devastated because the letter template we needed to merge in has 20 different merge fields, and it wouldn't be viable to do that manually. Nor can it be done with some third-party partner product because our merge field is not from those standard fields such as bioinformation, address, or contact details. They are from specific attributes, from specific relationships, from specific fundraiser details. Can we do conditional mail merge on NXT as well? And on top of that, can we preview the information before it's merged? Our third challenge is when we use actions. So sometimes we needed to export a list in Excel and together leverage some third-party information to make an action list. And our fundraisers will work through the list. I know this is not a best practice to export list and work off in an Excel spreadsheet. It's against every consultant's advice. But we had to do it because we needed to engage the third-party information. The biggest challenge, the biggest question here is how to get the information, the updated action back into Razor's Edge. You definitely don't want them sit outside of Razor's Edge because you don't want them to sit in the information silo. And how to get the list of action back into Razor's Edge. Yes, you said that. Admin import. Yes, it works, but for some people, this is too advanced. It's very demanding. So can we maybe have a list of actions that we can build? Can we maybe have a list of actions that we can work off the list and also update the information back into Razor's Edge as we go? So if any of these scenarios were on your wish list, I think my following solution may be suitable for you. So the solution we have is to use Power Platform RENXT integration. A Power Platform is a suite of programs consist of Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agent. They're developed by Microsoft, and it is a low-code environment. It enables you to build your own app and automate your workflows. It empowers citizen developers like us to do less and achieve more. And Blackbaud recently have developed connectors specifically for those Power Platforms so that you can connect your environment using these platforms. And best of all, you can embed the app in your NXT as a button or a tile. So the experience is more seamless, is more consistent. Maybe it's very difficult to visualize what I describe. So here I'm going to do a short video demo of how I did the load default and conditional mail merge on our NXT environment. So this is a newly created record in Razor's Edge NXT. Please note that the custom fields is empty. Now I load this default app. I can populate information as I want. Choose from the drop-down. It's real-time drop-down as your environment. Added some information and simply click the button Add in RE. And then this information will be saved into Razor's Edge in no time. And after that is done, you simply refresh your page and you will see that the custom fields will be refreshed, 14 of them. Now we're going to do a conditional mail merge. So the same place, we go to the add-ins, go to CP letters. This is the place where we do the corporate partner merge letters. And from this page, we can preview all the information that we needed to merge into the content. And we can choose the letter template we wanted to use. Simply click a button. The workflow behind the scene is crunching. And at the end of the workflow, you will receive an email sent to your inbox with this merged document as an attachment. So how does this whole thing work? Let me dissect the workflow for you. So start with a add-in on your NXT. So to enable this, this add-in button, you will need to create a Blackbaud developer account. Well, don't be intimidated by the word developer. It doesn't need any coding skill. So on the Blackbaud developer site, you register an application for your Power Apps. And this serves as a box to hold all your Power App programs. And then you register your specific app. You can give it a name, how you want the app to appear on the page, whether it appear as a button or as a tile. You can customize the size, the display mode, and also you can customize whether it's a fly-in or modal on your page. So after this is done, your app is visible on NXT. The next part is the Power App. This is a Canvas app. So it's a blank. It doesn't have anything on it. So you simply connect to Blackbaud connector to bring in real-time information from your environment. You can arrange the fields to display the way you like. And down here, this button, the green button, is a crucial thing. This button triggers a Power Automate workflow. The Power Automate workflow gathers all the information you displayed on this Power App. Use them as a parameter in your Power Automate workflow. And in the workflow, you can leverage the Blackbaud connector to send the information directly to a record, update it, add new information, however way you like it. So these are the solutions for the two scenarios, load default and conditional mail merge. All of these information are sitting on NXT endpoint already. So for information that's not sitting on the NXT yet, how can we do it? We still have our good old friend export and query, so we can leverage that. So from Razor's Edge, we can use a queue module to schedule the export and query to export the information on a hosted SFTP at a certain time. And once the file is uploaded on the hosted file location, a Power Automate workflow will be triggered to pick that file up and load it into a Dataverse table. Well, here you can use a Dataverse table or you can use Excel spreadsheet. Either way, it works. The Dataverse table is more compatible with Power Apps, so we use the Dataverse table. And based on the Dataverse table, we create a Power App. This is a standalone Power App. It takes information from the table and display it in a tabular manner. And for each of the entry, we can create a button to update the information, to update the action. And you can add the action, update the complete status, update the date, custom fields, you name it. And this is real time. So you update the information that goes back to Razor's Edge immediately. And with the same architecture, you can use this to export a file to do your conditional mail merge on a mass scale. So there's really a lot of opportunity there. There's endless ways you can put these parts together to make your own app. And it feels like playing Lego. So all the pieces is there for you to choose, and you just need to use your imagination to create your own little world. And by the way, this is done by my 3-year-old son. Even through the lens of a proud mom, I know this is not the best creation in the world, but let's face it, it serves its purpose. It's all done by himself. And best part, he can fix it by himself if anything breaks down or if it needs any improvements. So that's why I like the whole thing of Power Platform, because it's so simple, yet it's so powerful, and it provides so many possibilities and make citizen developers like us feel so empowered to do what we want to create. Well, lastly, I would like to share a few learnings we had from this whole process. First is to overcome the learning curves. I would say the Power App and Power Platform, they're truly low-code platforms. If you're comfortable with adding a formula in Excel, you should be able to handle this. But I have to admit there is a learning curve there. But let's face it, with anything new, the first few steps will always be a bit difficult. But the good thing is that you're not walking in the dark. There's a lot of support out there. So Blackbaud developer website, they provide thorough documentation on how you can connect your Power Platform apps or Power Automate into your environment. And there are also a community that share their use case templates, and you can learn or get inspiration from. If you want to deepen your knowledge on Power Platforms or Power Apps, Power BI, all those kind of things, there's tons of YouTube videos you can search by yourself. And you can even reach out to Blackbaud partner who provide Power Platform trainings, and they can also make customized app for you if you want. So as soon as you get your first app up and running, you'll find the rest is so easy, and it's very easy. It's very handy to set up. So the following ones will come more naturally. The second point is to evolve with technology. When I started to use Power Automate for NXT almost 2 years ago, there's only one connector for constituent with very limited endpoints. And now there are 6 or 7 different connectors with which you can access richer information, for example, like event record, action lists, code tables, fund campaign appeal, you name it. So as the provision of the Sky API endpoint is evolving, so will the endpoints of the Power Platforms. And to be honest, my first version of the load default app was not able to choose from the real-time drop-down. It was hard-coded. So now with the new connector available, I was able to choose the live content from my environment in the drop-down menu. So I would say with the improvement of technology, there's always room for further streamline of your workflow, and there's always opportunity to make the impossibles possible. People say if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. And that's why I encourage my team to learn Power Platforms as well. And they were very enthusiastic to learn the new tech, and we support each other in the learning process. Now they're more mature with the technology, and we often sit together and brainstorm what kind of things we can do to improve our current process or make new creations. We can just take out tools from our tool belt at will. Once your team has a culture of innovation, you'll be so amazed by what they come up with proactively. The last point I wanted to mention is be innovative, think outside of the box. Because with Power Platform, there are so many connectors you can leverage to enable more functionality. For example, with the response of a workflow, you can send an email, or you can save the file or something to SharePoint, or you can even send a Teams notification. And for triggering a workflow, you can schedule it at a certain time or let it trigger by a certain activity. So the possibilities is really endless. And I think I've already said enough. Maybe at this time you've already minimized my screen to Google Power Apps or started to register a Blackbaud developer account or thinking of your own NXT add-ins. I'm happy you do that, and I'll be happy to have a community of innovation in the Asian Pacific area. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching.